Hey everyone, it's Zach back with a new mortgage video. Hope you're all having a happy Monday. I wanted to shoot this video to talk about kind of my background in real estate, especially for people that are new to this channel, but also for those that have been watching my videos but don't know the full extent of my background in real estate. Just want to kind of talk about what I've done in real estate, both personally and what I've helped others do. And that way, you know, kind of where I'm coming from when I put out these videos. So my first step into real estate was buying a single family house in Austin, Texas in 2015. And the whole goal of that purchase was I was currently living with roommates, friends of mine, and we were all paying about $600 a month in rent. And I kind of came to the idea of, what if I could charge a little bit less than that in rent and still ultimately have a lower monthly payment myself? That seemed like a win-win situation for me. And so I bought this 4-bedroom house, rented out the other 3 rooms while I lived in one, and that was how I started. I did that again in 2018. Both of those were with conforming loans, first an FHA and then a conventional loan. And then in 2019, I bought a property in San Antonio with a hard money loan. And this was with the intention of flipping that property, which I did eventually, but took a lot longer than expected. A whole separate video if I really want to tell the whole story of that. But basically took a year to flip that property, sold it in at the end of 2020. And then using some of the proceeds from that sale, bought another property in 2021 with a conventional investment loan, 20% down. Then with my wife, I bought the house that I'm in now in 2022 with another conventional loan, but this as our primary residence. So right after I bought that investment property with 20% down in 2021, I got my mortgage license. I had been kind of waiting until we finished that project, the fix and flip, before getting my license. And then once I had this opportunity to buy a property, well, real estate was really hot and this was a below market deal that I had the opportunity to get. I knew I had to stay at my current job, knowing, having gone through the loan process before, I knew you don't want to change jobs while you're in the middle of buying a house. So I waited until I finished closing on that one before I got my license and started working. So initially I worked for a company called Cross Country Mortgage, which was a great company to start with. Did a lot of loans in multiple states, both Texas, Indiana, Georgia, and Illinois. Had my license in Missouri for a little while, but didn't ever do any deals there. With Cross Country, I did a lot of FHA and conventional loans, conforming, but also did VA and USDA, also conforming, and had some experience with non-warrantable condos and DSCR, so non-QM type of loans. So about a year ago in June, I switched from Cross Country to Houston Mortgage Brokers. Personally, have done conforming loans myself. I've done 4 of those and have also refinanced one and have done one hard money loan myself. So I can say from experience that hard money loans are a lot easier to qualify for. They are also a lot more expensive. This was a 12% interest rate that I was holding on to for a year. Also learned from that experience the importance of transparency. From a consumer standpoint, you want to ask a lot of questions of your mortgage loan officer to make sure you understand the product, because for that one, for example, you had 6 months to pay it off, and if you went past that, you were getting whacked over the head with late fees. And it was on me ultimately to ask about that, because in my mind it was like, oh, this will be done 3 or 4 months, no problem. Didn't expect it to go as long as it did, but should have prepared for the worst and should have made sure I understood the terms. But as a loan officer, I make a point to really explain all the details of the loan to make sure there is full transparency going into it. I also make sure to collect all documents. This is an example of the last time I went through a loan, which was to buy this house. I went with the builder's lenders because they were cheaper. A lot of in-house builders will take a loss on the loan because they're making enough money on the sale of the house. The houses are marked up considerably compared to comparables in the area. And, you know, from a consumer, it makes sense to take the lowest interest rate. I get it. But the trade-off is a lot of the times those lending companies are not very experienced in, especially in outside the box kind of unusual situations. In my case, having rental properties was confusing, and there were a couple things. One is not understanding how to calculate rental income, and two, and this is the most frustrating thing for me as a loan officer, is waiting till the very last minute to ask for any kind of documentation. You're really setting your borrower up for failure if you do that. So that's why I make sure to collect documents beforehand to make sure we have someone truly qualified before we're under contract, before the money is on the line. So that's a little bit about myself. Any questions, feel free to call, text, or email me. Thanks for tuning in to this one, and hope you have a great rest of your Monday.